So working with two-dimensional arrays still, here's the problem we've been doing in a couple videos now, where it's getting input from the user for the number of hours worked during the week. We got it to a two-dimensional where it's entering for multiple employees. Currently it's at 4. I'm going to drop it down to 3 just for simplicity of entering data. And all we're going to do change in here is we're going to add another function that's going to find the total. One that finds the total of the row and the other one that finds the total of the columns. So again, working with two dimensionals, you're always going to be dealing with these two loops for the most part. Alright, so the new function, I can pretty much start with one of these other ones. It needs the input of the array to come in, and we'll just call it find totals. Find totals of the rows. Alright, and then do another function that does the columns. Alright, so the loops are not going to change. The only difference is right here, adding up the data. Alright, so instead of being a cout right there, we're going to get another variable here that we're going to call an integer for total, and we'll set it equal to 0 because it's going to be a running total, and total is going to equal plus equal there of that location, and we don't need that because all we're going to do is output here. Alright, the total is, let's see, total for employee imp, right, and we'll just output which number this is, which is actually currently the num imps. Total for employee, and a little more text there. Output, is, I put a space before the is, there we go, and then we're going to output the total. So this will display the total for each of the rows, right? So the inner loop is adding up everything in that row, going column by column, adding it up, and then setting it back to there. Alright, so for each row we need to reset total back to 0. Alright, so let's just do that one first, and we'll do it after. Find total rows, hours. Alright, why is this one giving us a problem here? Undefined display values. Did I miss something up in my new function? Let's see, get the input. Well, I didn't change the name. I thought I did change the name. Oh, there it is. Okay, I made a mistake and edited the wrong function, so this should be display value. Alright, and all we had this do is output the data. Alright, so we're outputting data, and I just cut and paste here real quick, sorry about that. That's what happens when you do things too quickly. I lost my A, so there's going to output the value. We don't need to see in, but we're going to see out also a tab. Alright, that's how we had our data going out. So hopefully I get this right on the first pass here. Let's see, and we're going to see out a new line. Looks like I deleted one of my curly brackets. There we go. And display values. Oops, got value spelled wrong. Alright, so everybody's happy now. So now we should see the total of each row, and then we'll quickly throw in a function that does the total of each column. Alright, what did I get wrong here? Simple semicolon there. Here we go. I ain't rushing. Gotta take your time doing this stuff. I'm rushing, so I'm making a few mistakes here. Alright, there's all the data from the initialization, and we'll put the total, the data in like we have been. and there's your totals. So if you add it across, in the first one we have the 7, the 3 is 10, 6 and the 4 is 20, 25, 26, 27, 28, and then the second one should be 28 also, and the other one should add up to 56. Alright, and of course you can't see that again. There it is. Sorry about that again. So from the top, just the original data that was displayed, the inputs, and there's the output of the columns, rows and columns, and there's the 3 totals. So if you add up 1 through 7, you get 28, so the first two are 28, and the second one would be 56. Alright, this will be a little more efficient here this time. I'm going to add up the columns now. Again, the same similar code, except what we're changing now is we want to do the columns. So basically we want to flip-flop these two for loops, because we don't want the column to change until we go through all through the rows. So there's that one, and we're going to take this one, which was the rows, and place it there. Alright, and employee num is being defined there. We're going to output now not the employee number, the total for day. Right, we want the day of the week, which we can use our array up here, which is days of the week. And we're going to index into there using num days. Nope, num day. Alright, now it tells us that, and the total is not going to change. And we're going to change the function name, of course, to columns. And we'll do the same thing down here now, just call it. And call columns. So again, those for loops are very repetitively used. Alright, there we go. There's the initial output. There's some input. There's all the outputs again. So there is the 3 rows added up again, and there's the days, each one added up. So for Sunday, which is this column, we have 10, which is what 7 plus 2 plus 1 is. Here we got 12 again. There we have 11 plus 3 is 14, and you keep going on, you'll see that these totals do add up correctly. So again, it all comes down to these two little loops. Put them in the right order. Right? Rows, if you want to deal with one row at a time, the rows loop is first and the inner loop is the columns. Here we're dealing with the columns. We want to get the total of the columns. We don't want the columns changing, so I made the columns loop the outer loop, and the inner loop is the rows, so I can go down the column and add everything up.